We got 3 entries in the Black Christmas franchise, so let's rank them. Hello?
I know what you did, Billy! Filthy Billy! Billy! Billy!
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having a good one today. I'm the Movie Ranker, and today I'm going to be ranking all 3 Black Christmas movies from worst to best. We're deep into the holiday season now, so why not get into some Christmas slasher movies? But before we get into it, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any other future rankings like this, and let's get into it. Coming into last place at number 3, we got Black Christmas from 2019. Now, it's films like this that tarnish the Blumhouse name. It's god awful. It has nothing to do with Black Christmas at all. They literally just took a movie and slapped the Black Christmas name on it to sell it. And it was a very, very bad idea. I mean, the only slight connection it has to the franchise is that this is about a sorority and it takes place near Christmas. That's it. The film has unlikable characters that are completely forgettable. And it tries shoving a message down your throat the entire film. It's such in your face. It's not subtle at all. It's very woke, and it's like saying that all men are bad and evil and obnoxious. They're all pigs, and none of them should be trusted. And it's just a terrible, terrible message to have in your movie. And most people watch these slasher movies to enjoy the kills, and you can't even do that in this. It was filmed rated R with decent kills, but they were all removed from the movie, all cut. Every kill, as soon as it's about to happen, it cuts to the next scene, or you just do not see it at all. It's all off screen. They watered the movie down. They cut it down to PG-13 to sell more tickets. It was obviously a terrible choice, but I'm not sure if that would have helped the movie either way. I honestly have a hard time coming up with any positives for this one. Even the marketing was terrible. I remember when the previews were out for this, the trailers, they gave away the entire film and their big twist about this cult, and it's just god awful. There's no redeeming qualities at all for me in this one, and I'll never rewatch it again. Up next, at number 2, we got Black Xmas, or Black Christmas, from 2006. This one, it took me a while to get around to watching. I only watched it for the first time maybe 4-5 years ago tops, and I was very mixed on it, we'll say the least. I just revisited for this ranking for the first time ever. It's my second time watching it, and you know, it's still kind of a middle of the road movie for me. The cast is very much a product of the 2000s. We got Katie Cassie in here, which is my favorite character. She's the most likable. And yeah, there's 3 Final Destination girls in here. One of them being Mary Elizabeth Winstead, which I absolutely love. And yeah, a great cast in here. You get the girl from Mean Girls, but they're all very much a product of the 2000s. Probably the sexiest cast in any horror movie. And I really like that Mrs. Mack was played by one of the sorority girls from the original. It's really cool to bring back actors like that. But my problem lies with their characters. Like I mentioned, Katie Cassidy has a great character. I think she's written really well, but everyone else in this movie is a complete bitch. Like, they're so obnoxious and mean to one another. It's hard to believe that they're supposed to be sorority sisters. And while this is much more in line with the original, it's taken in a completely different direction with its tone. It's really disgusting and gross for most of the film. Where it lacks atmosphere and tension, they replace it with gross out kills and just really weird shit. Like Billy, he's in this, so it feels more like a Black Christmas movie, but they make him yellow. I thought that was a terrible decision. We learn a lot more about his background and how he grew up, what made him this way, which I thought was interesting. I am very glad the original didn't tap into that stuff. It kept it more mysterious. But when you're doing a remake, you have to explore more of the characters and that, so I get it. It's just some of the things they get him to do, and that is just nasty. Like making cookies out of like his mom's back and shit, and sleeping with his mom to have his sister Agnes, like, well, obviously it was more like his mom raping him or whatever, but it's just really weird and disgusting. And I think the writers for this one, or the director, somebody had a fetish for eyeballs, because there's so many eyeball scenes, people getting their eyeballs ripped out, getting stabbed, getting eaten, and it's like, ugh. If you know me, eyeballs are my least favorite thing in horror when people messes with someone's eyes, and it happens multiple times in this film. They're not real creative with their kills, they kind of just focus on the eye thing. And I do think the whole final act taking place at the hospital was a bad decision. The movie should have ended with the house. It just feels like it's going on too long once we get to the hospital and things get way too over the top. And there's a lot of scenes that just don't land this time around, like the girl in the rocking chair with the bag over her head. Like, you can't even see through the bag. None of the things that made the original Disturbing work in this one. It's just more gross out type of Disturbing. It's much different. It's a dark tone, and it's very, very schlocky. But if you're into these 2000s slasher films, this one's actually decent enough. One thing I'll add, though, that I do enjoy about the film is that it's pretty unpredictable in who's going to survive, who's going to be our final girl. We get to see all of our characters. They all share the screen time, so you're not really sure who's the main girl. Makes it more unpredictable, more mysterious. You're not really sure who's going to survive, and I like that. Mixes things up a little bit. We do get a final girl in the end, but she's hard to pinpoint throughout the film. But easily coming in the first place for me is the 1974 classic Black Christmas. Now, this movie was fairly under the radar for the longest time. I feel like it's only been like the last 15 years or so that it's started to become a real cult classic, and I love that it's getting recognized. This film is very heavy on its atmosphere and tension. There's times where there's barely any score played throughout this movie. No, not a lot of musical cues. You get more like just the ticking of the clocks in that, and it just makes you feel more claustrophobic in the house knowing that the killer's in there. And I love that they make Billy so mysterious in this one. We don't even know what he looks like. We literally only get a shot of his eye in here. We don't know a whole lot about his backstory. We can piece little things together with his obscene phone calls, which are completely out of line, obscene, disturbing in the perfect ways possible. It's not gross out, it's more psychological. And I also love the POV shots we get of him going around the house, killing people. We get the great unicorn glass kill where he's stabbing the girl, and of course the biggest one being the first girl he gets, where he puts a bag over her head and puts her in the attic, and she's rocking there the whole movie. It just makes your skin crawl. I absolutely love Olivia Hussey in this one. She's a great final girl, much different from our regular final girls. This girl, she's pregnant, she doesn't want to have the baby, and she's having problems. Her and her boyfriend are conflicted on the whole situation, and he's played by Keir Dalia, who was also a huge star at the time. He was in like 2001 Space Odyssey, so it was real cool to see him in this. Olivia is fantastic, though. I just love her. You can really see the fear on her face throughout the film, especially when she's in the house with Billy, and it's just great. We also get a very young Margot Kidder in here. She plays like the drunk in the house. She's fantastic. John Saxon comes back as a cop. I love him as a cop in my horror movies, especially and Nightmare on Elm Street being Nancy's dad. So it's really cool that he's a cop in this earlier film as well. And lastly, I love the girl who plays Mrs. Mack. I don't know her name, but she's kind of the comedy relief in here, comedic relief. She's always looking for bottles that she hid around the house, whether in books or closets, and she's always trying to sneak a drink throughout the entire film. And yeah, has a lot of funny moments, as well as at the cop station. There's quite a few moments of humor in here to release the tension. With the cop trying to write down fellatio, and he doesn't know what it means. And he thinks it's like a area code or some shit. It's just so hilarious. And the whole final act in this movie is just completely phenomenal. I love the little twists we get regarding our two main leads, her and her boyfriend, and what happens with him. And the ending is just so bleak, knowing that Billy is still in the house, but everyone else thinks that everything's solved, no more worries, but he's still in the house, in the attic, and you left our main final girl in the house, unconscious, in her room, and it's like, what's going to happen next? It makes you wonder, it makes you ask questions, and I love that. It's just a brilliantly filmed movie, some great shots, great atmosphere and mood, it's dripping with tension, we get a great killer, we get a great final girl, it's the entire package. It's a great holiday film that I watch every year, and I'm glad it's a Canadian classic, and it easily comes in the first place for me. So there you have it, guys. There's my ranking for all 3 Black Christmas movies. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know your ranking down below in the comment section. I'd be hard pressed to find someone who really enjoys the 2019 remake or reboot. Can't even believe we can call it that. It's just a rip-off, just stealing the name if you ask me. But I'd love to hear it in the comments. Love to hear your thoughts on all 3 of these films. You can follow me on Letterboxd and Instagram. I have those links down in the description, guys. And until next time, thanks for watching.